Turn your reality into mixed reality. Battle dragons, automate miniature factories, play classic pinball games, solve crimes, play reimagined classics, raise virtual pets, and even make your real room an escape room. The Quest 3 really has become a go-to device for mixed reality gaming. So there are tons of games being constantly released at this point, and these are the best of the best so far. I'm here to show you my gameplay and give you my thoughts. Welcome to GameList Plus. I'm Josh, and today I'm here to show you 10 must-try MetaQuest 3 mixed reality games, Volume 2. Watch till the end to see a few bonus titles, including the most bizarre experiment I've seen in mixed reality so far. You'll find links to all of these games in the description below, and if you buy them through my affiliate links, you'll be supporting GameList Plus directly. Starting out the list at number 10, Pinball FX VR. In Pinball FX VR, you can turn your living room into an 80s arcade, complete with pinball tables, cabinets, dartboards, and vending machines. And the game includes Pinball Noir, Curse of the Mummy, Sky Pirates, Treasure of the Clouds, and you have the option of adding all kinds of additional ones like Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider, Twilight Zone, or any of many tables from big franchises. You can play the global campaign mode to conquer districts, beat unique missions, and find special rewards, or just face off against the rest of the world on the leaderboards. Technically, you can play this game in full VR if you like, but the fun for me is definitely playing in mixed reality right there in my own space. I played Indiana Jones with it right there in my living room, and it's so cool that it has all those little intricate details still in place. Like, it actually has the gun that you hold to shoot the ball up into the game. So little details, all those little things are like big flashbacks for me. So it's a really good nostalgic flashback if you've ever played any of the old pinball games. If you're a person who has ever really enjoyed pinball and you have a Quest 3, this is a no-brainer. You should definitely get this one. If you're enjoying this video, this is the perfect time for you to hit that like button. It really does help my channel a lot. And also hit subscribe if you want to see the rest of my upcoming videos. Next at number 9, Jungle Man. Jungle Man is a quirky, vine-swinging obstacle course where you use hand tracking to swing, jump, and climb around in your space from vine to vine, grabbing bananas and oranges while avoiding traps, volcano pits, and all kinds of pesky creatures. This game is specifically for Quest 3 and Quest 3S. And keep in mind, you need a large enough play space to actually play this game. You need about 10 feet by 13 feet or 3 meters by 4 meters. You'll explore the jumping jungle, the slippery swamp, and the volcanic vein. Each level is procedurally generated within those 3 realms, so the gameplay always remains fresh. As you play, you'll collect relics and earn achievements to unlock all kinds of new looks and extras. You just jump right in and you use your hands to pull the guy and let him shoot to the next vine. And having it in your open space within your room is just such a cool way to play. It's a unique kind of almost platformer feeling game, but it's more of a puzzle game because you're trying to get the right combination of jumping, boosting to climb up with the banana, and then getting extra long jumps with the oranges to get further across while avoiding getting stung by bees and stealing honey and jumping to the next portal, to the next portal, to the next portal. It's honestly just such a brilliantly executed different type of game. There are all sorts of ways that you can miss, and every time you do, it's actually comedic because Jungle Man dies in a huge variety of ways if he's falling into the lava or getting stung or whatever it is. So it's a lot of comedy included as you play through this. There are already knockoff games that are in the store because they're already emulating Jungle Man because it's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend playing Jungle Man in mixed reality on the Quest 3. At number 8, Table Troopers. Table Troopers is a strategic team battle game that you can play by yourself against the computer or with people that you actually know. You take turns using weapons to destroy your enemies bit by bit in an entirely destructible 3D battlefield. The single player campaign has 3 chapters that you can play that are a lot of fun, but the best and most fun you'll have in this is probably in the multiplayer. You and your friends can join up and battle each other in a private room, or you can hop on Discord to find other players looking for a game. This game for me immediately reminded me of Worms, and I loved Worms when I was younger. Worms is a great game where you could literally take turns playing your battles on the PC, where you had a little team just like this, and they're all positioned on destructible environments just like this, and you shoot weapons with different varying abilities to hit the enemies. In that game, you had like a preset amount of items that you just kept that you equally had on each side, and you would just try and destroy your friends. It was so fun because you could name them all individually, and You could create your own little team with their own themes and everything. This is like the very beginning of a similar kind of thing. So the amount of destruction just by itself, you can hit one of the bad guys in a specific spot and then they'll fall to another area and then they'll land on something else that explodes and destroys more of the area. And it can be really funny just to see the chain reactions that can happen. So you collect weapons as they get dropped as you play, just like in the old Worms games. Even with the Worms comparisons, it really does stand alone as its own really fun mixed reality game on the Quest 3. I definitely highly recommend Table Troopers. It is a lot of fun. Next at number 7, Airspace Defender. Airspace Defender has to be the coolest transition of classic arcade gaming into mixed reality so far. In Airspace Defender, your city is under attack and you must deploy a command console to manage your defenses and fire precisely timed counterattacks against the waves of missiles, helicopters, and even drunken kamikaze enemies, which are honestly quite challenging and sometimes very frustrating. As you survive, you'll rebuild the city and upgrade your arsenal with missiles, bombs, drones, and lasers. And the game features 6 training maps, 7 practice maps, 2 arcade maps with leaderboards, 8 turret types, 5 enemy types, 15 turret contracts, and a lot more that is still in development for the game that's going to come out soon. I've only played the original Missile Command games a handful of times in actual arcades, but the visuals in this take that concept to a level that is just phenomenal. I didn't know if I would really get into this when I started playing it, but the hand gesture controls are really intuitive and it feels really natural, and it's just really cool having that globe floating in front of you and then setting the spots where you want to have the explosions, and there's different weapon types and all that. It really is a lot of fun and it makes you want to just keep trying, and when I would die, I would want to just jump right back in and try again to get further than I did the last time. Some mixed reality games just have a very loose kind of feel that just feels unpolished and not very solid. This game feels so solid. It's like a window you're looking into that is within your reality. It's just so well done. I highly recommend it. At number 6, Stay Forever Home. In Stay Forever Home, you get to adopt a magical dog-like creature named Ember. You start out with Ember right there in your own personal space. Then you can go off on adventures into the Other Lands in full VR, which is basically just a chill space with resources to harvest, then trade in for new toys and clothes to suit Ember's unique look and personality. You and Ember work as a team to harvest resources, discover mysteries, and banish the thorny weaves while encountering mischievous little creatures along the way. This game is really just a cool virtual pet that I think is the first step in the direction of actually having virtual pets in mixed reality. The dog is right there in your space. You can play with the dog with the ball and feed him and brush him and do all the things you would do with a real dog. As you can see in my video, my real dog was right there in the room as well. So it doesn't quite compare, but it's a nice step in the direction of having a pet in your mixed reality that if people don't actually want to have a real dog and have a lot of mess to clean up, this is a great alternative. And just going in and trying out the different things you can harvest and collect and modify and explore with Ember is really a nice, relaxing time. It's not a super involved game in and of itself, but it's a great experience in mixed reality. So I definitely recommend Stay Forever Home. Next up at number 5, Detective VR. In Detective VR, you use hand tracking to explore and discover clues in VR, then go to your home base with mixed reality within your own living room or wherever you're playing to interview witnesses, analyze evidence, and piece together the elements you need to progress the story. The game includes about 5 hours of story-driven gameplay. Within the replays of scenes in full VR, you're given a full time control option where you can rewind, pause, and play the scenes to find the hidden clues within that timeline. It's a really cool feature when you're in there in the VR, but then as you go into your mixed reality space, you can place your corkboard with your clues and all the details on the wall where you want. Then you have your little pedestal where you can do your analyzation of all the evidence with your magnifying glass or checking for blood or the different aspects that are there. And then you use these tapes to put them in and interview the individual suspects, and you cross-reference and make connections between things. And some things aren't correct and some things are correct. So it's a really kind of a process of elimination. But if you use your head, you can figure out exactly where the storyline direction is going. It's really cool going into the different scenes and then pulling those things you find into your room and trying out the different stuff. You can walk all the way around certain items to find the clues that are associated, like a signature or a thumbprint or whatever it is. It's a very cool investigative experience that has puzzly kind of elements. I definitely recommend Detective VR. Next at number 4, Crystal Commanders. Crystal Commanders is a real-time strategy game that asks you to build an epic base and battle for peace in both mixed and virtual reality. In the story campaign, you join Castor and other heroes against the Crimson Blade, with fun cutscenes and voice acting playing out in your real space. You can play in classic mode, capture point mode, search and destroy mode, or payload pursuit mode, and you can play alone in campaign mode with a friend or in mixed reality in the same room, or online against other people. I haven't gotten the chance to play this game in mixed reality with another person in the same room, but I'm hoping that I will get the chance to do that in the future because it's so cool being able to put two different headsets on, both be in mixed reality, and play a basically command and conquer right there in your own space. Playing it by myself, I had a ton of fun because, again, like I said, it is just like the old game Command and Conquer. And real-time strategy is not something that I have really gotten deeply into since back in the day when I would play that. I used to love playing Command and Conquer back in the day. Command and Conquer Red Alert was one of my favorites, where you choose your base and build it up and then send out your troops, and you could select as many as you need to focus on one area and then select a few to go capture a certain point. And there hasn't really been a game that is really a good real-time strategy game in VR that I've played so far. I really love how you can build your base on any specific surface that you like. Like if you want to put your base on the couch, you can put your base on the couch and have all the stuff down below. You can build elevators that take your troops up and down. I tend to build mine up against the wall because you have that automatic protection from the back. And then you can build a fence around the front and start accumulating your masses of your army to go attack the other side. I haven't even played enough of it to really get into the meat of the game, but just playing as much as I have, there's something really satisfying about building a huge amount of troops to the absolute max that you can carry, and then sending all of them to go and obliterate your enemy. It's something that I used to love doing in the old Command and Conquer games, and that same feeling of satisfaction is here as well. And it's also just like you have a bunch of little micro machines driving around on your floor. It's a really fun experience all by itself. So it's definitely one of the most fun mixed reality games I've played so far, and it is absolutely worth playing. If you like real-time strategy games and you have a Quest 3, this is a must buy. Next at number 3, Mythic Realms. In Mythic Realms, you can turn your living room into a fantasy roguelite. You explore forests and icy caves, fight mythical creatures, gather loot, and build your own kingdom in VR. Each and every expedition offers new challenges and some epic boss fights. You can play as a knight, a ranger, or a mage, and make use of 9 unique weapons, including bows, staves, swords, claws, shurikens, wands, and more. You can also upgrade and unlock them to their full potential. There are also upgrade power-ups that give you boosts throughout your gameplay. You can set them up as offerings at an altar, and then they give you bonuses as you play. There are tons of enemies to battle as you go from area to area, and there are fun and charming characters in your little village that you go to. But the real meat of this game is in the mixed reality dungeons themselves. There are tons of contracts to complete, and what feels like an endless supply of options as you play. I played a demo for this a long time ago when they first released it, and I wasn't so sure about how it would play out in terms of a full game. I haven't played it to an extreme extent, but it is worth picking up just for the sake of battling a dragon with whatever sort of weapons you want. You can build your character in the direction you want, much like you can in a lot of other RPGs, and there's all kinds of contracts to do, and it's just really fun. The sense of wonder of going from room to room and having it procedurally generated, so there's no time that you will play the same exact thing. There's different options. You can choose to either chop down some trees and gather wood because you're trying to build something back in your town, or you can gather other resources or go fishing or just fight if you feel like fighting. I love that games like this are starting to come out, and I can't wait to see what the beginnings of this turn into in the future with full-on RPG gaming. Obviously, this is not Skyrim or anything like that, but in mixed reality on a standalone headset, it is a lot of fun, and as cartoony as it is, it definitely scratches that fantasy itch. At number 2, Loop 1 Done. In Loop 1 Done, you'll find yourself in a mixed reality sandbox where you can record loops with a bunch of mechanical parts to turn your play space into a fully automated factory. You'll place buildings in your room to mine materials, then build factories to convert them into better products. You use drones and industrial robots to record loops and automate the whole production process. The game is built for hand tracking, but you can use controllers if you really want to. But I personally thought that using your hands with all the little robotic devices and parts is absolutely the most fun way to play. This really is one of the most inventive and fun uses of mixed reality that I have tried so far. I had this game sitting in my library for quite a while and just hadn't tried diving into it yet. And once I did and I figured out the mechanics, which takes a few minutes to get, it's just so fun. And honestly, I got really addicted to it. I started playing it and I just kept going. I wanted to see what kind of material I could get next by building the right parts and putting the little pieces together and reaching the next area where I had more resources to mine. And then you have these little ships that come down and they're like little drop ships that grab the product that you've created so far and fly up, and then you gain money, and then that money gives you the ability to build more and new things. So it's a very kind of addictive loop. And I mean, it's called loop one done. So it's all about loops. So you're looping around to create a manufacturing loop where you grab a little drone and have it pick a piece of material up and then drop it off in another place. You actually set the motion yourself by moving your hand exactly where it goes. And then you let go and it sets it recorded and it does exactly the motion you did. So you can compound that and make tons of actions upon actions upon actions. So there's this really satisfying feeling of you doing all the work yourself and having these little robot helpers do all the stuff for you. So as simple as the concept is, it's got such a satisfying feeling in the end. I went crazy with it and I ended up building, as you can see, an entire factory leading all the way to the final piece that you can actually use within this early access version. I got to communicate directly with the developer Jonas Sandstedt, and he made it very clear to me that this is still early access and that he is still developing a lot more to the game. But as far as it is, it's still so much better than a lot of the other fully fleshed out games that are out there in mixed reality and in the Quest store. So even for early access, I highly recommend Loop 1 Done. It is awesome. And finally, at number 1, Shattered. Shattered is an immersive mixed reality adventure where you transform your living space into a mind-bending, interactive mixed reality play space to solve puzzles and escape twisted and strange scenarios. You utilize your floor, ceiling, and walls to pull objects and characters from memories into your own play space to find clues and solve all kinds of mind-bending, strange puzzles in an escape room style. When I say mind-bending, I really mean it with this game. It is super strange and super cool. So you grab these glass shards and then you can project them onto the wall and it creates a whole room that you can then walk up to your own wall and you see into this other one, and then you use the selection to pick items specifically and pull them into your space, and then you set it right in front of you and interact with it right there. It's really just a fascinating and fun way to play a game. It's a puzzle game and it's an escape room. There's not another game that I've ever played quite like it. And the only way that it could be the way it is because it's in mixed reality. This is one of those games that I love for the sake of the fact that it really uses mixed reality in its core game mechanics. So once you find one thing, it leads you to the next thing and then to the next thing. And in each room that you're in, you have to figure out all the different pieces to get to the exit, to exit the room. The little clues are very smartly put together. It's not always just text. Sometimes it's just some images on the wall, or sometimes you use blacklight to see the patterns and secret codes that are hidden within the blood here and there. There are just very inventive ways that you piece things together. And then mechanical ways that you have to accomplish small goals, like removing these needles from this lady's head that's actually you because you're in this insane asylum that you are trying to free yourself from. I don't want to reveal too much, but if you have a Quest 3 and you like mixed reality, I feel like Shattered is an absolute must to try out. This reminds me in a mixed reality way of games like Ghost Town or The Room VR. Not nearly as polished all around as those games, but in its own very cool mixed reality way is really awesome as well. If you have a Quest 3 and you like mixed reality games, this is kind of a no-brainer. You really need to try Shattered. So that's it for the top 10, but here are some bonuses that are also worth diving into. Banners and Bastions is an awesome tower defense style real-time tactics roguelite where you repel assaults and face tougher and tougher enemies with varied tactics to expand your army and fortify your kingdom. All within the same sort of dome that Airspace Defenders is in, and it's from the same developers, so you know you're in for a fun time. Hidden Pictures Agent Q is a discovery game across 60 worlds where you can talk to locals and help complete tasks to locate orb shards before the aliens do. You'll search intricate dioramas bustling with life and filled with secrets. Alex and the Jets is an awesome dogfighting flying arena game that is truly a unique experience where you get to fly a little plane around in your own space, going through little donut loops to collect power-ups and fight bad guys as they come at you. It's genuinely a lot of fun just playing around and seeing the little squirrel hero in your own physical space, flying around in this tiny little plane. I'm surprised there aren't a lot more games of this type in mixed reality already, but this one is a ton of fun. Beatable is a hand-tracking rhythm action game that turns any table into a musical instrument, where you can tap, snap, and clap to the beat. It includes a custom song and map editor and 24 songs with pinpoint gesture detection, real-world haptics, and no controllers required. And finally, the bizarre game that I talked about at the very beginning, 20 Guys. 20 Guys is a bizarre ragdoll physics playground where 20 strange little loyal guys are yours to stack, smack, and improvise with. This is really the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in mixed reality. It's just a strange feeling to have them follow you around the room, and it's also equally fun to smack them around. It's very bizarre, and I know they're still working on it and developing it, but it is a lot of fun. So there you have it, 10 must-try MetaQuest 3 mixed reality games, plus some bonuses, Volume 2. The Quest 3 is definitely the go-to system for fun mixed reality experiences in games, and most people don't even know all those things that you can do. I feel like by the time the Quest 3's mixed reality becomes really popular, if it ever does, we'll be moving on to a whole new system with the Quest 4 and with other systems that are coming out from other companies like Steam. I remember just 3 years ago playing nothing but poker in VR and wondering if they would ever come out with anything else more interesting or crazy. And here we are with all kinds of cool mixed reality games. I'm wondering what could possibly be the next thing in another 10 years. This is truly just the beginning. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Is there anything that you've never seen done in mixed reality that you think would be really cool? Are there any games that you've played in the past, like old arcade games, that you would love to see implemented into 3D in mixed reality? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And while you're here, why don't you check out my list of the 10 best MetaQuest 3 puzzle games right here. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Go try something new. I'll see you soon on GameList Plus.